we take the class further on with the same discussion about cross elasticity, for which the formula I think all of us really recollect now, that is percentage change in demand of one product upon percentage change in price of another product. For example, if I say percentage change in demand for cars upon percentage change in price for petrol, okay, then that is the formula for cross elasticity. That is the formula. That is the formula for cross elasticity. Okay. We need there are psychological approaches to handle customers also. So of course you have to refine your statements when you are sitting in front of customers and when you face such kind of problems. So please, I am just asking you to be more positive, that's all, nothing more than that. So is the concept of price elasticity, cross elasticity, income elasticity and advertising elasticity clear, everybody? Are the formulas clear? Anybody who has not understood it? See, cross elasticity is all about percentage change in demand of one product upon percentage change in price of another product. That is what is cross elasticity as a concept, okay, which can be used for either complementary. When I talk about car and petrol, it is a complementary product. If I say percentage change in the demand for cars upon percentage change in the price of van, then that will be the formula for what we term as cross elasticity. Or for example, if we talk about say nano as a product, then if I compare the cross elasticity, then I can use another comparison, that is percentage change in demand for nano upon percentage change in price of a two-wheeler. Okay, so when we take demand for a product and yes, Sushant, absolutely, and the price of another product, then we take into consideration what we term as cross elasticity. So I think nobody has a problem in the formulas. Now if I ask you that what is the application of these formulas, what is the application of these formulas for a manager, then possibly we will have to go back to the definition of elasticity. Now the definition of elasticity says, see, the formula for those who have not understood is, the formula for income elasticity is percentage change in demand upon percentage change in income. Advertising elasticity is percentage change in demand upon percentage change in advertising budget. I will be explaining all these elasticity concepts one by one later on. All you need to remember, Ritesh, out here is that we are doing it for demand as a chapter, elasticity concept for demand as a chapter, where we will be taken into consideration elasticity of demand when we talk about how it changes according to price, how it changes according to income, how it changes according to advertising budgets in an organization, and how it changes when the prices of some other products change. So the concept is all related to demand, where in the numerator you are always going to put demand as a as a variable, and in the denominator part you need to put across, the variable against which you want to calculate the elasticity of demand. Okay, is it clear, everybody? Now is it clear, everybody? I will wait for your response, then only I'll move ahead. Okay, so a very simple logic to understand the formulas, but slightly a difficult concept when we talk about how this can be applied in organizations. Now when I say that price elasticity measures the responsiveness, it is absolutely correct. Suppose I say that, you know, I'm giving you one example. I will want you know, your responses on this example. Suppose I say that there is a 20% change in the price of a product, okay, and I ask you that I tell you that the demand changes by 100%, okay. How responsive the demand is in this case? When price changes by 20%, the demand changes by 100%. How responsive is the demand in this case? Is it highly responsive? Okay, 5 times correct. Highly, you can say highly responsive. Okay, another case I give you. Suppose price changes by 20% and demand or changes by 10% in the market. Is it a highly responsiveness case? Prices change by 20% and demand changes by 10%. Is it a highly responsive case? No. Okay, so on similar basis we identify products in the market. Those who are highly responsive to change in the percentage change in demand, these are known as elastic products. Those which are not that much responsive, for example, if 20% change, only 10% change in the demand for the product, then these kind of products are known as inelastic products. Okay, so basically elasticity helps us in understanding the responsiveness of the demand when there are changes in such variables, like it can be price, it can be income, it can be advertising budget, so on and so forth. So number one, price elasticity is all about the responsiveness of the product demand when certain variables change. Okay, now what next I am going to do is I am going to you know, make a diagram on the whiteboard. Okay, and in this diagram you all know the price elasticity formula. Now it is percentage change in demand upon percentage change in price. So you have to calculate price elasticity for me for this demand schedule. I think all of you will be able to connect to it. Here, you know, I will ask you to calculate price elasticity for the given situation. All of you can visualize this whiteboard out here. I am giving you 2 minutes time. All of you have to calculate price elasticity for me in this case, where I consider that the prices goes up from 5 rupees to 6 rupees. Calculate the elasticity for me in this case where price goes up from 5 rupees to 6 rupees. Please do the calculations. I think all of us know the formula. It is the percentage change in demand upon percentage change in price. No column, no, that is not correct. Please take your time and do it. No, it is not 0.5, it is not 1 by 10. The answer, the first clue is the answer has to be negative. First clue is answer has to be negative, and second clue is from this you know, graphical representation, you need to see what is the initial demand, what is the final demand. If you do that correctly, then your answer will also be correct. So against 5 rupees, what is the demand? Initial demand is 110. Okay, so I'm just putting on this formula here. It is, we will put across 100, yes, minus 110 upon 100 and no, not 100, it is going to be 110. Initial demand is 110. You have to calculate the percentage change in the demand upon the percentage change in price is 6 minus 6 is the final price, 5 is the initial price upon 5. So what I have written on the whiteboard is first expression gives me percentage change in demand. That is, my initial demand is when 5 rupees is there, initial demand is 110 rupees. Okay, and my final demand is 100 rupees. So the expression becomes 100 minus 110 upon 110. Okay, that is minus 10 upon 110. Okay, then percentage change in price, if I have to calculate, it is 6, that is the final price, minus the initial price, that is 5 rupees, upon 5. Is this clear to everybody? Now all of you, can you calculate what is the final answer? Minus 5 upon 11 is the percentage change in demand upon 1 by 5. Now can you calculate this? You have to put percentage change in demand upon percentage change in price. What's the final answer? You have calculated as per my instructions that I have given on the whiteboard, everybody. Calculate, karo, calculate. What's the final answer? There are multiple answers that I am getting. Minus 5 by 11, Om Prakash, is only the percentage change in demand. What about percentage change in price? 6 minus 5 upon 5. Yeah, minus 25 upon 11 is correct. Minus 25 upon 11 is correct. Please, giving you 2 minutes time. If you've not understood, just go back again, because this is a very important aspect of elasticity. Anybody who has not understood me? Anybody? Anybody who has not understood? I think everybody has understood. See, taking one more thing into consideration out here, we can observe that always demand and price are in an inverse situation only. That is what we have done in the last class. We said demand is inversely proportional to price. Price go up. Please, Zafar, you be connected to me rather than your book. I am not connected to your book anyways right now. I am connected only to the concept right now. So I am not connected to the book right now. Okay, I'll be connecting to it, don't worry. I'll definitely do that. Please be connected to the concept that I have given. Yes, I will do that, Sushant. Definitely I'll do that. That is only percentage change in demand. You have to put percent. 5 minus 5 upon 11 is the answer final. Yes, minus 5 upon 11 is the final, not minus 25. Amrita, just check your answer. Minus 5 upon 11 is the final answer. Everybody understood? Okay, the next question, that what have you not understood, Vineet? Yeah, Megha, I'll listen to your question. Another question that is coming to my mind is, do you think price elasticity will always be negative? Arun, you have not understood? No, I am asking you only about, okay, yeah, my question is, do you think price elasticity will always be negative? Consider, no, it will always be negative. The reason being, if you have given no, I'll say the answer is yes. Not in case of Giffen goods, absolutely correct. See, for normal goods for which law of demand is applicable, where we say demand is inversely proportional to price, whenever we are going to calculate price elasticity, like for example in this case also, suppose we calculate elasticity when prices come down from 6 rupees to 5 rupees, then also price elasticity will be negative. Okay, because we know that apart from only the exceptions of law of demand, there is an inverse relationship between demand and price. So as far as the conclusion about price elasticity is concerned, we say that it will always be negative in nature. The reason being, price and demand are inversely proportional to each other. Now, another thing that is coming to my mind, do you think this positive or negative thing should make any difference when we are talking about percentage changes out here? And when we say that elasticity is more about measuring the responsiveness, how one variable responds when another variable, there is a percentage change in another variable. Do you think we really need to put in these plus and minus sign? I think it is not required, because elasticity is a concept which is all about the ratio of the percentage changes. That is why in economics it is the absolute value of elasticity that is taken into consideration, rather than considering the case that whether it is positive or negative. Those of you who are from, I'll talk about it, Ritesh, what it denotes. Those of you who are from mathematics, we say it is an absolute value. Okay, and for an absolute value, we do not consider the signs, whether it is positive or negative. On similar basis, when we talk about, say, elasticity concept, that is especially only the price elasticity concept, we only consider it in a positive format. Okay, so that this particular concept you will all have to keep in mind, that we need to only consider the positive value of elasticity. Okay, whether it will always mostly be negative, okay, but we need to consider it as a positive value, because the concept itself is all about the responsiveness. Okay, now see, yes, Megha, it tells whether the response is positive or negative, but the problem is when we talk about the concept. Here in this concept, we only need to consider that whether what is the responsiveness of the demand of the product when there are certain variables that change. And because we are only talking about as a ratio of percentage changes, we don't take into consideration the negative values of price elasticity. Okay, it is only about the responsiveness that we are bothered about. Okay, we already know if price increases by 20%, then the demand will only come down. If it comes down by 100%, then we say it is highly elastic in nature. The product is highly elastic in nature. Where we say price increases by 20%, demand comes down by 100%, or it can be vice versa. Price decreases by 20% and demand increases by 100% in the market, where we say it is an elastic product. Okay. No, I am not talking about substitutes out here. I am only focusing on price elasticity. Okay, so from this discussion where we say that price elasticity is only going to be positive, we can derive, we can delve into some of the conceptual values of elasticity. So we can say mathematically speaking, price elasticity should range between 0 and infinity. Am I right? I can say that price elasticity, if it is always considered to be positive, then it ranges from 0 to infinity. So in this point of slide, we are going to discuss first the mathematical values of price elasticity. Then I will talk about the practical aspect of it, because see, we have only been doing the formulas part. There was a question also. We will be then coming to the practical applicability part of elasticity and how managers can use it. Okay, so as you can see these various ranges in the slide, infinity to 0. I will first talk about the case where what happens to the products or the scenario where elasticity is infinity. Okay, now if I ask you what is infinity, can you tell me what is infinity? Can you tell me what is infinity? So here I am only talking about price elasticity. Please do not get confused by cross elasticity and other concepts here. Okay, denominator is 0. And what is the mathematical expression for infinity? Anything divided by 0 is what we term as infinity in mathematics. 1 by 0 or any value, any variable divided by 0 is what is infinity, because we assume that if we divide any number by infinity, it will tend towards 0. I think everybody knows it. Column, are you from mathematics background? Anybody who doesn't know that infinity is 1 upon 0? Anybody who doesn't know, I'd like to know. Anything upon 0 is what we term as infinity. No, it is not necessary to be 1. It is not necessary at all, Gauri. Okay, now the formula for price elasticity, as you can see it in the slide, is percentage change in demand upon percentage change in price. So if elasticity has to become infinity, this expression has to equate to 1 upon 0. Okay, can you all, yes, this is a typical case of perfectly elastic situation where some products can behave like this. First of all, focus on this expression that is there on the slide. Now, question to you guys is, how about this situation that you can see with this expression? What do you observe from this expression that elasticity has to become infinity? We are talking about what situation? What is the situation that has been discussed? Sorry, that can be seen in this expression. No change in price? Is it no change in price we are talking about? Change in, okay, price remains constant, absolutely correct. No change in price, demand may increase or decrease. Yes, Kiran, absolutely correct. What about others? Yeah, demand can go up or down, it depends. I am seeing to your responses, everybody, right now. So I am not speaking, I am looking at your responses. Okay, varying demand, very good answer, JG. Prasad. Okay, so here when we equate this to this expression, we say that elasticity will be infinity when the price remains constant and demand keeps on fluctuating in the market. Now again, this is a very very theoretical concept. None of the products behave like this. Okay, another thing what makes this expression a more theoretical equation, a more theoretical expression, is that here we are considering only the two variables, demand and price, and we assume rest all the variables which can affect demand have been kept constant. So slightly no, Vineet, these products are more towards inelastic side. This is a very theoretical state that for products for which there is no change in price but still their demand may change. Okay, this is one extreme. Elasticity is equal to infinity is one extreme which may not practically exist in the market. Okay, what exists in the market is that I'll show you next. Okay, so first is elasticity is equal to infinity. Another question that is coming to my mind is, suppose I draw a graphical representation for elasticity as infinity. What should my graph look like? If I take price on y-axis and I take quantity demanded on x-axis, and if I have to talk about the situation price elasticity is infinity, then yes, it should be a horizontal line. Okay, absolutely correct, everybody. I think most of you have understood this. I have a very good audience, so you need not worry the way you were worrying for the technical fault. I think you are better than me at times. Your responses are so good that you don't even need a tutor. You just need some concepts to be given to you, and then you can carry forward. Okay, that's pretty great. So that will be a horizontal line. I'll talk about, say, another extreme of it, where I say price elasticity is equal to 0. Okay, now in this case, what is your analysis? When I say price elasticity is 0, has to be 0, what's your analysis? It's a vertical line, absolutely correct, Colin, but I will like to know the logic, the analysis first. Okay, so we talk about a situation, no, demand is not constant. Yeah, demand is constant. There is no change in demand, price of the product can keep on changing, varying. So another extreme of price is elasticity is equal to infinity is price elasticity is equal to 0, where we say demand remains for the product constant irrespective of what the prices change. Okay, to an extent some of the products can behave like this. For example, if I say salt, for example, okay, it is towards this extreme side of price elasticity that whatever may be the price of the salt in the market, people are going to buy it. They have to do what? They will buy it. Unless and until they drastically change their eating habits, they will buy the product. Okay, so yes, you can say some products are like that, for which no matter whatever is the change in the price, their demand is hardly affected. These products are towards perfectly inelastic side. Okay, most of the food items you can say fall under this category of extreme, perfectly inelastic case. When we talk about, say, the graphical representation, of course we talk about a situation which is A vertical line where we are talking about a situation where there is no change in the demand irrespective of whatever the prices changes in the market. Following the same convention that price is taken up on y-axis and quantity demanded is taken up on x-axis. Okay. Thus demand decreases, does it qualify for infinity? Ma'am, if a commodity is not selling due to high price and price not changed, thus demand decreases? No. No, Kiran. Here we are talking about such products which are perfectly elastic, means they are not at all dependent on price. Okay, so that will not fall under this category, Kiran. Okay. Then comes, you know, another aspect of price elasticity, which says E is greater than 1. Can you explain this situation to me, which is known as relatively elastic situation? What about this situation where I say price elasticity is greater than 1? Are we talking about the price increase, Vineet, or we are talking about the percentage change in price? No, Naveen, wrong concept. No, I am talking from, okay, if you can use the formula and then explain it to me. It is, the formula is percentage change in demand upon percentage change in price. Now can you explain it to me? No, Kapil, absolutely wrong. Change in, yes, yes. Now can you explain, if I say I have to calculate elasticity, price elasticity greater than 1, percentage change in demand upon percentage change in price, can you use this logic and talk about? See, here we are not talking about change in price and change in demand. Please remember, we are always talking about proportionate changes when we are talking about elasticity. A proportionate change is nothing but the percentage change. So never say change, always say percentage or proportionate change. Okay, now can you explain me? Yes, talking about elasticity greater than 1 is a situation where percentage change in demand is more than the percentage change in price. For example, percentage change in price is by 60% and demand changes by 70%. Elasticity will always be more than 1. Okay. Yes, iPhone is a very good example. I can understand some 20 lakhs booking in 24 hours for the first day when it was launched. That is what I heard in America. So yes, you can say that. It is more towards inelastic side. Is E greater than 1 clear, everybody? Can you all understand this? Percentage change in demand is more than percentage change in price. What will be E less than 1? Again using the same logic. Again using the same logic. Okay, Naveen, you are absolutely correct. What will be the analysis of E less than 1? Yes, it is more of an exception of law of demand. iPhone and a newly launched iPhone is an exception of law of demand. Even if the prices will go up by marginal basis, then also the demand will not come down at all. It might go up only. People will think that there is better technology, so on and so forth. So it is an exception of law of demand. It falls under the category of luxury items also when we talk about iPhone 5. No, E less than 1 is not the law of demand. What is E less than 1? Where percentage change in price is more than the percentage change in demand. For example, if I say the change in the percentage price is 60%, change in the percentage price is 60% and the demand changes by, let us say, 50%, then elasticity will be less than 1. Is it clear? E greater than 1 and E less than 1. Okay, now I wanted to tell you here, when we see the practical aspect of it, most of the products that we find in the market these days either fall under this category where we say E greater than 1, or they fall under another category where we say E is less than 1. When we say elasticity is more than 1, then we say that the product is elastic in nature. When we say elasticity is less than 1, then we say that it is towards inelastic side, that it is not that responsive whenever there are percentage changes that occur in the price. Okay, like for example, there are certain categories, like we can say cars. Okay, now car is especially the small cars that are there, they fall under the category of elastic products. The reason being, changes in the price, changes in their demand to an extent where people might start postponing their decision if the prices go up in the market, or similar basis. If we say food items which are necessity goods, the goods which are necessity goods which you cannot avoid using, these kind of products fall under the inelastic side. Okay, that is like food items that we require, milk that we require, it is a daily need. So products which fall under the necessity group, they are more towards inelastic side, that is E less than 1. Products which can the consumption of the products which can be postponed or altered, or maybe is sensitive towards pricing, these kind of products fall under elastic side. Yes, there can be situations in the market scenario where E is equal to, elasticity is equal to 1 also, which is also not a bad situation to work for, where whatever is the percentage change in price, it gives the similar percentage change in the demand. So that is E is equal to 1. Now next, what I am going to do is unitary elastic. Yes, absolutely correct. After this exercise, I am going to take a break of 5 minutes. What next I am going to do is, I am going to draw two graphical representations here on the whiteboard. You have to tell me where E is greater than 1 and where E is less than 1. Use your logics, use your analysis of whatever you have understood till now, and based on that, give me a final decision. You can take 2 minutes to think about it. Don't rush to your decision. I have the patience of waiting for 2 minutes to ensure that all of you understand the concept clearly. Okay, so assume these two graphs I have drawn out here. Assume these two graphical representations are absolutely similar to each other. Okay, and you have to tell me which graph represents E greater than 1 and which graph. Okay, Mega, absolutely correct. I am happy with the response time. I mean, if the response time is less, I am really happy. So Mega, you are correct. A is E greater than 1 or E less than 1? Think about it and write it down as a response in your chat box. No, A is not E less than 1. See, I talk about similar changes in price in both the graphs. I say these graphs are absolutely similar. A is E greater than 1 or less than 1? No, first one is A is E greater than 1. Yes, Smita, you are correct. What about you? A or B? First one. Okay, so I have 3 students who are sitting with me here. They say A is a situation for E greater than 1 and B, A because change is sharp. In A, change is not very sharp. Please revisit your logics. See, when the same price changes on both the curves, the logic is in graph A, there is a higher change in the demand. So that will lead to higher percentage change in the demand also. Okay, the similar change in price in the second graph, okay, will bring about a very less change in the demand. As you can see, demand is on the x-axis. Okay, is the logic clear, or I should explain it once more? A is E greater than 1, B is E less than 1. Sandeep, is it clear now? Everybody else? Amrita, see, whatever, if we consider that there is a similar percentage change in price in both the graphical representation. In graph A, the quantity demanded, that is on x-axis, is higher in comparison to graph B. That is why A is having more change in the demand, percentage change in the demand in comparison to percentage change in demand in graph B. Tanjit, is it clear now? Is it clear? This is important. So we say steep curves are depicting inelastic properties, whereas a flat curve of demand depicts elastic properties. Okay, so that is what is the conclusion that we have drawn from this discussion so far. Okay, next what I am going to do is, yes, it has been quite demanding, but it will be more demanding during the break, because I plan to share one case study with you. Meanwhile, only I will have the break. All of you were talking about time wastage, so I will tell you how to utilize time. Even these 10 minutes you'll have to utilize. So I'm going to just display a case study for you, which is all about the price elasticity, how it can behave in long run and short run. This case study will take you further on to the practical implications of how price elasticity can be used. Let me just give me 2 minutes time. Meanwhile, you can have a break while I am uploading it, then I will have a break. So that is how the break concept goes now. just give me 2 minutes. I'm just uploading it. Yes, Megha, absolutely correct. Okay, meanwhile, all of you have received your booklets. All of you have received your booklets. Okay, so come to page number 110. Okay, and this page number 110, CNG vehicles have arrived. While I'll take a break, you carry on with this case study. In the next break, I'm going to upload another case study for gasoline, which is all about short run and long run demand pattern. See, just go through for next 10 minutes. I will be on break, and others, please, page number 110 in your new study material that you have got. You have to read this case study of CNG. Okay, for next 10 minutes, it is exactly 2:40 in my laptop. Next 10 minutes I am not going to speak till 2:50. See, this case study is all about how CNG can have an impact on the demand. This is what is this case study all about. Afrin, in mathematics we use this expression that 1 by 0 is infinity. It is a standard equation that is used in mathematics. Arun, I'm really sorry, the case study is there in your books only. I'm really sorry, but you can use as a concept of what how the demand has changed when CNG nowadays has been introduced. This is the entire agenda of this case study. Introduction of CNG as a fuel in the vehicles. That is what is this case study all about, and it reflects upon something what we term as cross elasticity pattern. That is where it focuses on. So you can give your general ideas on this, no issues at all. It is all about introduction of CNG and how it has changed the demand scenario. You can give your general views for those who do not have the presentations or the book materials. Another 7 minutes to go. Just go about your case studies. Okay, hope you all have read the case study. What are your takeaways about it? What are your takeaways about it? And is this case study giving you a glimpse of how what are the practical implications of elasticity concepts? Okay, can anybody of you tell me in nutshell, a two-liner, what this case study is all about? It is about cross elasticity, absolutely correct. What else is your takeaway about it? Okay, so this is a cross elasticity between petrol and CNG usage and demand. Okay, what about others? CNG is substitute product of petrol. Okay, so yeah, most of you have understood the nitty-gritties of the case study. Of course, by the end of the day today, you will be able to understand it in a better fashion. Of course, it's a very simple case study of cross elasticity. See, if you have to understand any case study, this is my tip to everybody. Take out the basics of the case study. Like when you are studying a case study like this, first think about what it is all about. Like you have already told me that it is about cross elasticity. Then think about the products. What products have been highlighted. Then go to what is the data that is given. If you tabulate the data, okay, it is the easiest way of handling any case study with data. You tabulate the data time wise according to the tenure, or you tabulate data as per the given case study. The moment you tabulate it, that is the moment you are going to understand the entire case study. So case studies, if they have to be studied and analyzed, these are the basic tips of understanding case studies. First look into what it is all about rather than thinking all weird ideas. It is about cross elasticity, two products, tabulate the data. Everything will be picture clear to you what this case study is all about. Okay. Yes, it is taking into consideration the price difference, the demand difference and everything. Another thing, another same instance, if I give you about price elasticity. See, this was a case study about cross elasticity. Another instance is all about price elasticity. If I talk about, and I say the product is petrol. Okay, nowadays all of us are aware of it, that the petrol prices are changing. Okay, this will bring us closer to one fact, that price elasticity can be different for the same product in short term and long run. My question to you guys is that if I take into consideration the elasticity of demand of petrol upon the price of petrol, okay, what do you think it will be in short run? Like for example, nowadays there is a change in price of petrol. What kind of demand change you will observe if we consider that there are no substitutes of petrol and so on and so forth? Will it change much? Does it changes? Suppose you own a car, will your habits change? In short run, I am talking about, suppose price increases here today. Will you change your habits in few months time? That is my question to you guys. It's a necessity. It's a necessity when we talk about change of petrol price in short run, because some of us who are already in a habit of using a four-wheeler to drive ourselves to the office, our habits will not change. Okay, so we can say that in short run, when we consider very short periods, then price elasticity of petrol remains towards inelastic side. Inelastic, like whatever is the change in the price, it hardly will bring any changes in the demand, because people are habituated towards using petrol in certain fashion for which their their consumption might not change. But a similar case, no, I am not considering the substitutes out here. I am only talking about demand and price of petrol. I am not talking about substitutes, please. Okay, in long run we can talk about substitutes and other things. In long run, if this keeps on happening as a phenomena in the market scenario where the prices of petrol keeps on going up, how do people's taste and preferences change? How do they change? That is again another question that is to you guys, that do you think if the price of petrol keeps on changing, there will be change in the habits of the people? What is your answer? In long run, habits will change. People will start resorting to public transport, carpooling, CNG conversions, okay, buying out such vehicles which use less of fuel. Habits do change when we talk about a product for which the prices keep on changing in longer times. People take time to change their habits. For example, people can shift towards their office side rather than staying away from the office. They'll try to find out an accommodation near to their office places. So what happens when we consider the demand for petrol in a longer duration? We'll find that it behaves in an elastic fashion. But if we see it in a short duration, we find that it behaves as an inelastic product. So there are certain products like petrol which in short run behave like elastic products, in long run they behave like inelastic products. Okay, so in short run petrol is inelastic, in long run petrol is elastic, where the result can be due to changes in the consumers habits. Okay, when we talk about change in petrol for a longer duration, these are all the case studies which gives us a glimpse of how a product might behave in long run, short run, or how introduction of a product can change the demand for another product. These are all the examples. See, another mathematical angle to price elasticity is, now I'm coming back to the theoretical portions because I have to continuously keep on updating you about the theoretical components that are there, a part of this course. See, price elasticity again can be further subdivided into point elasticity and arc elasticity. Okay, now whatever formula we have done till now, the formula is percentage change in demand upon percentage change in price. Okay, till now we were talking about a change which was significant. I am again coming back to whiteboard, and we can say, we can simplify this formula into, I have to use this formula, the reason being you know, this will take me to point elasticity. The formula is delta demand. Delta demand means change in demand. Delta actually is a symbol, upon demand, that is original demand, that is percentage change in demand, upon delta price upon original price of the product. Okay, now this delta demand upon delta price upon price is the formula for price elasticity. Okay, here we are talking about a significant change which can be observed on a demand schedule. That is, we talked about what happens between 5 rupees and 6 rupees if the price changing. Okay, when we calculate elasticity for significant changes like rupees 5 to rupees 6, which can be easily observed as a significant pattern even in the graphical representation, then that kind of elasticity is known as arc elasticity. Okay, so for arc elasticity the formula is the same, delta D upon D upon delta P upon P. Okay, now another question to you is, what can be point elasticity? I mean, if I have to calculate point elasticity, how do I do that? Suppose at this point on the graph, suppose on this point of the graph I have to calculate elasticity. How do I do that? What about others? My voice is clear? Yeah, when I have to calculate elasticity on a particular point, how do I do that? I am talking about a very small change. Am I right? Which concept in mathematics is related to very small change? Let us first talk about that. Yes? Differential calculus, absolutely correct. Okay, the entire differential or differentiation that we talk about is where we talk about a very small change in one variable with respect to a very small change in another variable. It is all about very small changes, which we say that it tends towards infinitesimal. Okay, that is, yes. So in similar fashion, if we have to calculate point elasticity here, then we will use differential or differentiation into consideration. See, I try and simplify this this entire discussion because there are some non-mathematics students also. Now if I have to calculate elasticity at a particular point, then I will have to use differentiation, that is calculus, where For those who do not understand mathematics, what I will simply do is I will simply replace the word delta or the symbol delta with D. D also signifies changes here. Okay. So what I have simply done, that if I have to depict point elasticity where I have to use calculus, in case of this delta as a symbol, I replace it by D. Of course, those who understand mathematics, for them the equation will be a differentiation of demand with respect to P. This will change into P upon D. Okay, so the equation finally will become, if you have it in your box, the equation finally will become, I'll just tell you where it is. Just give me a moment. It is there on page number 95. Page number 95. There is this which is where an equation has been given, a solution has been given alongside, where you can see point elasticity, the formula for point elasticity. You can see it in the equation 5.4. okay, yes. Okay, so those who are from mathematics, I think for them it will be very easy to understand. Those from non-mathematical background, please, all you need to do is you need to remember this formula. Instead of delta, the formula changes to D. Am I clear, everybody? Shall I move to the next concept? Point elasticity is all about continuous functions. I'll not go deep into mathematics here. And point elasticity can be calculated using various equation and calculus methods, for that matter. And it can be calculated based on the okay. So you can just read it, what is arc elasticity and point elasticity. It is clearly depicted in your chapter also. Okay, just read this slide for your knowledge purpose, that's all. Okay, as you already know, elasticity is between infinity and 0. You all come to graphical representation, figure number 5.6, page number 97 in your notebooks. In your books, page number 96, figure 5.6. Can you all observe it? Just have a look at this diagram and tell me what it is all about. Figure number 5.6. Have a look at it and let me know. As you can see, elasticity is between infinity and 0. Okay, in between it is E is equal to 1. You know, when we convert elasticity into a mathematical and when it was rather mathematically analyzed, okay, this was what the graphical representation that was observed. And for this case, the mathematical formula that is used for a graph with the help of a graphical representation is E is equal to lower segment upon upper segment. Here we use, rather than the values, we use the length of the demand schedule. Okay, in figure 5.6, where again on x-axis it is quantity demanded, on y-axis it is price, and elasticity as mathematically calculated is between E is equal to infinity, between infinity and 1 E is greater than 1, and between 1 and 0 infinity is less than 1. It has to be 1. E is this, there is a simple logic to apply to it. E is, this has to be the graphical representation, for which the formula becomes lower segment upon upper segment, where the length of the formula has to be taken into length of demand schedule has to be taken into consideration, and this is the formula mathematically for elasticity. Okay, nothing more than this you need to know. Now we have done a lot of mathematics about elasticity, but what is the managerial view about elasticity? Okay, that is again we have to understand. The reason being, all of us are associated with some or the other organization. We are associated with the products that our organization is producing. We are associated with the success of the product. If your organization is successfully able to handle the product in the market, then only all our successes will come. Okay, so managers need to understand, those who are taking certain strategic decisions about price of the product, they need to take into consideration that how the product is behaving in the market, whether the product is elastic or inelastic. Okay, because if managers are holding elastic products, then any variation in the price in the market is going to bring about much of a variation in the demand in the market. Okay, so their pricing strategy has to strictly be under certain limits, because a change in price will bring about a heavy change in the demand, percentage change in the demand, whereas managers who are holding on to inelastic products, if they have to take care of the pricing strategy, they can easily increase or decrease the prices in the market. The reason being, even if they increase the prices in the market, it will not have much of an impact on the demand part. And to that extent, we say that if a nation is exporting more of inelastic product, it is always positive for the nation, because even if the the government increases the prices of the exports, its demand is not going to change.